I can't change the way the media present me. So all I can do is ignore it and just carry on. Enormous numbers of people are looking at my work now, despite 30 years of abuse and ridicule from the mainstream media. If you keep putting one foot in front of the other and you don't stop to defend yourself, but just keep on moving, then eventually you'll get somewhere. So this cult don't want that. How do a few people control billions and direct the direction of human society? I mean, why are they secret societies? Of course, they're keeping secrets. What are those secrets? Knowledge is never negative. It's how you use knowledge that can be positive or negative, but knowledge itself is not negative, it's just knowledge. And if we're going to move in a direction where you're trying to help people come out of the 5 sense prison cell, because that's what it is if you're only focused on that level of awareness, then we surely have to look at where the prison cell came from. And then you start to pull it together. You have the spiritual arena saying this reality is illusory and what we really are is consciousness and all that stuff. Yeah, but you can use that knowledge in a good way or a very manipulative way. Because this knowledge, understanding of reality, how we interact with it, what reality is, what the true I is the means through which we can obviously break out of the 5 sense constant focus. But that knowledge is not only in the gift of people that want to use it in a positive way to help people become conscious in a much more expanded way. That knowledge is also in the gift of people that want to stop that happening. And we need to understand that you can use what is called occult knowledge, just a word meaning hidden, for very positive reasons and very, very negative reasons. And when you look at the world, we actually live in 2 worlds. There's the world of the population, and they are strictly limited in the knowledge that they're allowed to, in the course of events, have access to. And if people in the population want to find out knowledge beyond that, then they have to go and look for it. And in looking for it, they can, a lot of abuse and a lot of ridicule. But over here, symbolically, is another world. And it's a world of secret societies and semi-secret groups, what I call the global cult. And what these secret societies that actually have an interlocking leadership, I mean, why are they secret societies? Of course, they're keeping secrets. What are those secrets? Well, one body of those secrets is where they want to take humanity so that the population see events every day as if they're random and they're just happening and I don't know where they come from and, you know, that's happening and that's happening. When actually it's a very clear step by step movement in a particular direction towards total global control. But they don't want the population to know that, so they keep from them that actually there is an agenda, and thus these events are not random, they are stepping stones to an outcome. But crucially in this other world, they hoard the nature of reality, knowledge of the true I, and how we impact on reality and how reality impacts upon us. And they absolutely do not want us to know that, because that's the gateway to out of here in terms of perceptual control. So what they do with the population to keep that out of their understanding is to give them a form of science, which is all about materialism. It's all about the 5 sense world. Can I see it, touch it, taste it, hear it? Okay, it exists then. If I can't, then it doesn't. And that combination is designed to hold people in belief systems that disconnect them from what they know, which is that we are points of attention within an infinite expression of awareness. We have all possibility to manifest, explore, and experience. Now, if you're in that level of understanding that you know your true identity is not your names and your labels in a brief experience called human, but you are the consciousness having those experiences, and the consciousness that is having the experiences, the true I, is the true you, the infinite eternal I, then you are not going to be easy to control. You're not going to be easy, especially when there's a few of you over here in this cult and there's billions in the target population. Imagine billions of people that are in that state of awareness of true self. And the nature of this reality, that it's basically a narrow band of frequency, which we call visible light, and bigger be the electromagnetic spectrum. And that what the body is doing is focusing the attention of our consciousness in this tiny band of frequencies. And therefore, our main perceptual reality is the world of the five senses. But if you are aware that you are the consciousness having the experience, and that the five sense experience is just an experience, and all the labels that go with it, man, woman, race, religion, sexuality, they're just experiences, then you are almost impossible to control, because you're experiencing this reality, but you are aware of what this reality is. And at this level of awareness, you can see things dot connecting, where the pixels become pictures and you see the patterns, and you see another level of what's actually happening around you in five sense reality. So this cult don't want that. And now we come to the reason why this information has been so suppressed through the ages, because what this other world, this global cult, needs to do for mass control is it has to push people into the five senses. It has to get them to focus overwhelmingly on that level, and crucially to self-identify with the labels of the five sense world. And if they can get people to self-identify with the labels as the true I, this is me, then they are locking the target population into exactly what they want and must have for mass control, which is a sense of limitation, a sense of lack of power, a sense of little me, because that, A, is much easier to control, and B, a little me perception will look outside of itself for a big me to guide it. And we call this big me authority. And the authority in the human world of the five senses, isolated five senses, is actually, if you go deep enough, this global cult. And so the two things are fundamentally connected, both in the sense of denying the population the nature of reality and the nature of the true I, imprisons them in the five senses in a perceptual prison, as a prison of self-identity. But on the other side, that knowledge becoming available is the road to set people free of that control. That's really to understand the problem. But the way out of here is for people to awaken to their true self and self-identify with the true I. And that is the worst nightmare, is that people will say, well, a few people can't control the world. It's not possible. Well, in 2020, we've seen that it is. But in explaining how it is possible, people open up to the fact that it could be happening, and it is happening, because now they can see how it's possible to do it. And, you know, we're back to the same thing. How do a few people control billions and direct the direction of human society? By controlling human perception. One of the things is that you look at the world and it seems so complex. All these things that are happening and everything seems so complex. But actually it's dead simple. It really is. You look at the different expressions of apparent complexity, and they're all trying to do the same thing. And that is control human perception. Because from human perception comes human behavior. And collective behavior is what we call human society. So if you want to control or dictate the nature of human society, you dictate the nature of human perception. Because you've got them then. And you dictate perception by controlling information from which people form their perceptions. So it's working constantly in so many and various ways to program the perceptions of the population, because it knows that if it can do that, that it dictates human society. Because you don't have to externally impose a society. So you look at the education system, it's not an education system at all, it's a programming system that's all the way through the formative years. Children and young people are being programmed with perceptions. The media, it's not journalism, they're repeating the official version and attacking anyone that challenges the official version, because the media is programming the perceptions of the population. And I can tell you that the vast majority of journalists are telling the official story because their career depends upon it. And most of them don't even realize what's going on. They haven't got a clue. What they do know is that if they keep supporting the party line, especially now, well, you're out the door if you don't. So they just do what is necessary to pay the mortgage. That most of them haven't got a clue, some of them, and they are knowingly doing it. But the vast majority haven't got a clue what's going on in the world. And all they're doing is repeating the official story because they believe it's true as well. And so you've got all around us, you've got this perceptual programming going on. And if you look at a human life in the way the system's been set up by this cult, from cradle to grave, it's a download of perception. It starts with the parents who, with honorable exceptions, have been through the same system and bought the perception, and they pass it on to their children at the earliest ages and start influencing their perceptions, not because of malevolence, most of the time anyway, but because they think that's the right thing to do.